Alright guys, so today is currently August 6th, 2024, and I took 2 losses, which honestly really sucks because these challenge accounts are pretty hard. Trading is hard. Trading is really hard. But regardless, we got this. Alright, so this morning I took a trade in the London session, the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. time frame for the silver bullet, and it resulted in a $48.25 loss. And honestly, it really sucks. So let's go over it. So here we're on the 15-minute. We have the sell side liquidity, the buy side liquidity, and then we have internal buy side. We marked out the 2 a.m. high and the 2 a.m. low, and we also have an order block right over here. So my thought process was that whichever one we sweep, we would continue either higher or lower, right? There's also buy side resting up here, so I was looking for price to continue higher if we did sweep the low. So we ended up sweeping the 2 a.m. low, as well as these areas right over here. We swept the sell side liquidity, and we hit the order block on the 15-minute right over here. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I think price can continue higher. As you can see, we got the break of structure, and then price retraced. This is where I took my entry. What I did was so this is what happened. When price displaced and broke structure, there was a fair value gap that formed right over here, right? But I didn't want to take an entry here because the RR would be less than 2. So I decided to move this until I saw 2, and that's when I took my entry. As you can see, we got entered in and we unfortunately got stopped out. And it wasn't just like I got stopped out and price continued higher, it just continued lower after that. So that sucks. Alright, so moving on to the New York session, we did mark out the 9 a.m. high, which is over here, and the 9 a.m. low right over here. So in hindsight, I honestly probably shouldn't have taken this trade because we swept liquidity here and then continued higher. And even on the 1 minute, right, the model already played out like right here. So we have accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So this is on the 1 minute, right? And then price eventually manipulated here and then continued higher. So basically when we hit the 9 a.m. high, I decided to take a short entry because we swept, continued higher. I actually entered right over here. I took the inverse fair value gap, which I shouldn't have because price never broke structure, and that's where I think I went wrong. So even if I did enter here, which I shouldn't have, I probably would have still entered anyways, because here we got displacement, we broke structure, and then I would enter on a retracement into a fair value gap. And as you can see here, we ended up getting stopped out. So basically 9 a.m. high, 9 a.m. low. We have buy side liquidity that did get swept. We also had SMTs forming on the 15-minute right here. So here is the NAS 100. And then here we have the SPX 500, right? So SMT was created. So that gave me more confidence that price would continue lower. And, you know, unfortunately, it just didn't. And we got stopped out. But in hindsight, though, like, I shouldn't have even taken any shorts in the first place. Here we retraced more than 50% of the range right over here. We swept liquidity, continued higher, and even on the lower time frames, we had a model that played out, and we honestly shouldn't have taken anything. So we had a bit of accumulation right here. We got manipulated and then continued higher. And I'm pretty sure you guys saw earlier, but I did take a $57.02 loss right over here. So we're currently sitting at 0.5% on the account. So yeah, that'll be all for now. I'm going to trade the London session tonight, and we'll see where things go. Alright guys, so I'm back from the gym, and while I was taking my breaks in between sets, I was looking at the chart because I was just looking to see what I could have done better, and it's always in hindsight, right? So basically on the 1 hour time frame, we have the sell side and we have the buy side, right? So we're forming buy side right now, and I don't know why I even took the short.
but I guess at the time I thought it was correct, right? But as you can see here, we're not even close to these relative equal lows. So I shouldn't even be like targeting this area in the first place. We're closer to the buy side that's up here. So I'll just mark this out as buy side. And plus we broke structure. We retraced into this order block and it was showing signs of rejection. So continuing higher. And this is on the 1 hour time frame. And honestly, after looking at this, it made me question why I even decided to take the short. But, you know, at the moment, I guess I thought that was the right move. But in hindsight now, I mean, it seems a lot clearer. We broke structure, bounce off the order block, bounce off this fair value gap, continuing higher. We're forming the buy side of the curve. And also, like, we already retraced this low. Really, there is no reason for price to continue lower because we already took out all this sell side liquidity. We're even at a daily order block. Oh my God. I mean, we even rejected the daily order block that's right over here. I don't know why I took the short, or I decided to take it. And even on the 15-minute time frame, we were making sell side. Now we're creating buy side. But I guess at the time we were still generating sell side, and I was trying to target these lows. But the overall bias should have been higher. See, break a structure, retraced, this held, continuation higher. I honestly shouldn't have even taken the short, because we also even have the model right here that I did go over after I took the loss. So here we have sell side, a little sell side right here, and a little buy side right over here. My entry for the trade was also bad too, so oh my God. Okay. Because we already swept this low, or we accumulated, manipulated, and distributed, but also we swept this low to continue higher, broke a structure, retraced, and continued higher. But I guess this didn't even form at the time, but still, like, yeah, on the 1 hour, we created buy side. We rejected the daily order block. We rejected off the 1 hour order block, as well as the fair value gap. That's right over here. I don't know why I decided to short. Moving forward, I have to actually look at the bigger picture. There was really no reason for price to continue lower to this area until we got a solid break of structure. You know what? You live and you learn. So yeah, just move on to the next. All right, guys. So today is currently August 7th, 2024. And this morning I did take a trade on NAS 100, which resulted in a win. So yeah, I'm just going to go over that. So basically this trade was framed around the 15-minute time frame. I know my chart is a bit of a mess right now, but I'll dissect it. So we marked the buy side liquidity that is sitting up here, the order block, the external sell side, the internal sell side, that's all resting right here. And at this point in time, because we are closer to the buy side of the curve, I was looking for price to draw higher. So let's zoom in to the 1 minute. So here's all the internal sell side that I've marked, but I'm just going to delete the ones that didn't end up serving any purpose. This was my whole thought process behind taking this trade. We marked out the 2 a.m. high and the 2 a.m. low, which ended up being this sell side right here. I did draw a fib from the bottom right here to the top over here. This is what I used to mark the equilibrium area that's right over here. So I was looking for price to sweep either the buy side or the sell side and then a continuation in whatever direction that was, right? So in this instance, we swept sell side, we retrace into equilibrium, and then we got displacement higher. And this is when I decided to take a trade. So there's a little swing high right here. We broke structure, and I actually never got filled until all the way over here. So as you can see, like, I honestly had a pretty strong belief that price could continue higher because we had liquidity resting above right over here. So price continued all the way up and displaced without me, right? Because I had a entry that was right over here. There was a fair value gap that formed right here, and it did tap a little bit into it, but that wasn't where my entry was. So price just continued on without me. And honestly, during the time, it really sucked
because I was like missing out on the opportunity. When I did feel like chasing price, I just thought to myself like, yo, you have to stick to the plan, because chasing price results in bigger losses if it does hit your stop loss, and it also messes up the risk to reward. So when price displaced higher, we didn't get entered into the trade, but I just stuck to my initial entry, right? I had to stay disciplined because I knew that every time I decided to chase price, it would always go to my original entry, and I'd end up getting stuck with a bad entry because I decided to chase price. All right, so price went all the way up, made a higher high, continued lower, made another high, and then eventually we got entered into the trade. So price is currently generating liquidity right now, right? So we have liquidity over here, over here, over here, and then I think it was a fair value gap that's right over here. So after seeing this, I had a conviction in this trade. Yeah, eventually I did get entered into the trade. So my initial TP was actually over here, but I did decide to move it lower because I took 2 losses the other day, and I was just like, yo, I just want to secure something, right? So I ended up just placing my TP at this high over here, and we ended up making a 3.72 risk to reward, which is amazing. So I took 9 trades and only 3 of them were winners. But I'm still currently up 2.4% on the account, as you can see right here. And yeah, that just goes to show the importance of having a positive risk to reward ratio. Now, I think within time, I'll have more discipline to holding the trade to my initial TP. But I think what I did was all right. So my initial TP was up here, but I did panic a little bit. And as you can see here, I'll play price forward. We ended up just continuing all the way up, eventually sweeping this buy side up here. But obviously, after taking 2 losses, I just wanted to secure something. That's pretty much it for this trade. Just a quick recap. So yeah, on to the next. All right, guys. So today is currently August 8th, 2024. And I took a trade on NAS 100 yesterday that resulted in a $149.86 win. So let me quickly show you guys. It's at the bottom right over there. So basically the whole thought process and reasoning behind taking this trade was that we're on the 5-minute time frame. We marked out the external, sell side, and buy side liquidity, as well as the internal. We also went on the 1-hour time frame to mark the 2 a.m. high and the 2 a.m. low, as that is the range we usually use for our silver bullet session. And one last thing we also marked out was the 0.5 on the Fibonacci. That's located right here. Basically all I did was draw a fib from the bottom to the top right over here. As you can see, London session starts right now. We also have an order block down here that I'm looking for price to potentially bounce off of to continue higher. Because at this point, I don't really see a reason for price to continue lower. Yes, we do have sell side over here, but we also rejected the order block on the daily time frame. So at this point, I'm looking to continue higher. Right, so let's just move into the 1-minute time frame. We are creating buy side liquidity. So one up here, one right here, another one right here. Slowly we are moving lower, but we're slowly generating buy side as well. So at this point, we sweep the 2 a.m. low. We also retrace into equilibrium, as well as we start to enter the order block that was right over here. And once I started to see price retrace or bounce off of this order block, I honestly thought that price could continue higher because there's so much buy side to be swept right here. So the entry criteria was I needed to wait for a break of structure and then a fair value gap to enter on. I know we are past the London session, but after we started to retrace down lower and creating these buy side right here, I honestly had a strong belief that price would continue higher. Because we rejected off the order block, swept the sell side, retraced into equilibrium, and we broke structure to the upside, right? So at this point, my conviction in this trade is pretty strong, right? So here we break structure, create a fair value gap, and I put my limit order at the bottom of this fair value gap right over here. So eventually we did get filled in our trade. We started to continue higher,
faced some drawdown, and then slowly continued, right? So at this point, I'm like sleeping, and I just let the trade play out. I had, like, honestly, I saw no reason for price to continue lower because we literally already went down here. We swept all the sell side, and we made one last sweep over here, right? In my head, I saw this as like a range of accumulation kind of, and a sweep to continue higher, which is why I set my take profit to this high right over here, which was also buy side liquidity. So I'll play price forward. As you can see, we're literally going up and down, and then I believe we make one spike all the way up right over here. So this trade ended up making a profit, and it was a 2.91 risk to reward, which honestly I thought was pretty cool. All right, guys, so that'll be all for this video. I didn't end up taking any more trades this past week. As you guys know, we did start off the week with 2 losses, which honestly was pretty discouraging, but on Wednesday and Thursday, we more than made up for it. So one last show of the trading history. We took 4 trades this week. We are currently up 3.92% on the phase 1 FTMO account. And yeah, that'll be all for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Oh, and also I do have a free Discord community where new traders and profitable traders can join and grow together. I look forward to seeing you there. So yeah, for those of you who are on the same journey as me, good luck. Peace.